past few years, Disney has definitely upset a lot of consumers with all of the bad content that they've been greenlighting and releasing, but now we're finding out the live action president is actually out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are done with live actions in totality, because they have now combined 20th Century Studios and their live action division. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, nothing Disney could do at this point would surprise me, but I did find this rather fascinating because over the past few years, they have quadrupled down on live action remakes as a core pillar of their current cinematic scheme, even though many of them have been complete and utter failures. But Disney's executive, Sean Bailey, is exiting after 15 years as the Motion Picture Group's president of production. He will be replaced by Searchlight's chief David Greenbaum, who has been named to the newly created role of president of live action in 20th Century Studios. So right off the bat, you might have thought, wow, they're actually getting rid of this production president, but that also could mean that the live actions would be left in the past because he is the person who has greenlit every single live action. He is the person that is behind all of them, but that is actually not the case, and it seems like they are not giving up these bad movies anytime soon because they have now appointed someone new. It says in his post, effective immediately, Greenbaum will report to Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman. This shakeup merges two of Disney's film divisions, live action, responsible for remakes and spin-offs of the studio's classics, and 20th Century Studios. David has an incredible creative sensibility and eye for film, and he has built a reputation as an exceptional leader and creative executive, as proven by his track record. I'm thrilled that he'll be taking on this new and important role. And they actually tried to spin this, and the media is trying to spin this because Bailey, who has overseen Disney's live action slate, isn't completely cutting ties to the company. He will segue to serve as a producer on Tron Ares and other studio projects, but this is not good, okay? They are trying to make this seem like, oh, this is actually positive. Yes, because being an executive producer is just as good as being the president of Walt Disney Motion Picture Studios. That's what they are trying to convince you of. They think that we're dumb or something because, my gosh, they are not comparable in any way, shape, or form. And of course, while he has overseen some successes, he also has lost Disney tons of money over the past few years. I mean, look at something like Mulan, right? It made $69 million worldwide with a budget of $200 million. It, of course, is important to note it did come out during the lockdowns, but they put it out on Disney Plus for $30, and they didn't say exactly how much it made from Disney Plus, but the only number we heard was release weekend, it brought in a measly $35 million. We had Cruella, which brought in $233 million worldwide, with a budget of $200 million, which, you know, doesn't sound awful if you don't know numbers, but movies need to make double plus some of their budget. We also had Little Mermaid, which brought in $569 million worldwide with a budget of $300 million. So it did not even make the budget times two, let alone that percentage they want on top of that. And of course, yes, some of the movies that he has overseen have been successful, like The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. It's clear their recent live action releases have been financial failures, never mind how they've been panned by audiences. And by appointing a new live action president, it means they plan to barrel ahead with movies like The Little Mermaids, with the Snow Whites and who knows what else, but it just shows that they are not actually listening to our feedback. They're not trying to change the company. And Bob Iger has recently said over and over they're worried about quality over quantity going forward, and they really want to make things that consumers want to watch, which of course is what every company wants because they want to make money. But you are not going to make money if you keep pushing people away and you're not making good content. And that's not what Disney is doing. They, yes, are still going to have a live action president. This guy is going to oversee upcoming live action adaptations, and that just means that they have no plans to stop this anytime soon. And yeah, I mean, Sean Bailey is going to be an executive producer on something like Tron Ares, which is a movie that many people have been extremely worried about. I do think that the cast is looking pretty star-studded, but that does not mean at the end of the day the product will be really good. But again, he's just an executive producer. While yes, that's nothing to scoff at, because he's still getting paid a significant amount of money and he still has some creative control over the movie. Movies have several executive producers which work on them. And so that doesn't mean that if, you know, Tron Ares does amazing, he gets all the credit. He only gets a very small portion of the credit compared to the director, all of the executive producers, and just several of the other creatives that are working on it. Now, of course, one of the major issues that Disney is facing right now is money. We just recently heard that when it comes to Marvel, content is going to see a shakeup because they want to focus on more grounded shows like cop shows that you really only have to pay for good actors and decent sets, decent costumes, but there's not a lot of CGI involved in those types of shows. We also saw last year in 2023, they lost over $1 billion at the box office, and things so far are not looking very positive for them in 2024. I do not think that there is a way that Disney could get enough consumers back that they have previously pushed away to really save themselves in any way. I mean, obviously they're still making money. It's not like they have got nothing coming in and they're only blowing billions of dollars, but at the same time, they still need to look towards the future and find a way to win fans back, and I just don't think that that is going to happen. I mean, look at the live action Snow White. That is one of the major reasons why they ended up delaying it by a full year, because they needed to try to give it time in order to find ways to convince people that Rachel Zegler is a really good actress, but also that the people who worked on that movie are, you know, really passionate about the franchises that they're part of and the work that they do, and ultimately Snow White in general, when of course the lie detector has determined that that is a lie. But it just seems like right now Disney, of course, is, you know, consolidating because they're running out of money, so they're trying to streamline expenses. And in the case of Sean Bailey, while yes, he has overseen some successes for the companies, he's also overseen a hell of a lot of fails for the company. It will of course be interesting to see if David Greenbaum does any better, but this just means that Disney is barreling forward with live action adaptations that absolutely no one is asking for. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.